Hello everybody, this is Greg Wagner. I just wanted to go over Lab 3 with you real quick. So essentially Lab 3 is made up of three parts. The first part is basically the learning objective is just to kind of play around with strings, and you're just going to write out a 4 by 4 um, string of letters. Part 2 is going to go over any randomization, so this is how you would manipulate strings. And then part 3 is just adding more randomization. So it's kind of the learning objective is kind of learn how to do decision functions. So I wanted to kind of go through each of the parts a little bit and kind of show you how to get started. So I think the number one thing you need to do is you can follow my instructions for part 1 by just printing out the string, or you can kind of just start laying the letters out. Either one's fine. So I'm going to start with laying the letters out just to make it a little bit more simple. And so one of the things you want to do for laying out the letters is you want to make two different arrays. One with, or two different strings, one with the constants, one for the vowels. This would be kind of for part 3. So I'm going to call this vowel, and so it's going to be of a type byte, and you can just basically put a string after this. So it can be A, E, I, O, U. And then kind of I've had a discussion before about what are the actual vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the typical ones, but if you want to put Y or W or whatever kind of ones you want in there, you can do those as well. And then I'm going to put cons for consonants, and these will be all the letters that aren't A, I, O, U. So this is going to be B, C, D, F, G, H, K, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S, T, and V. T, V, W, Y, W, X, Y, Z. And then basically what you want to do is you can put this all in one procedure. You can have multiple procedures if you want. Is you want to use random range to generate letters. So to kind of get you started, if you call, so if you load a value, what you want to do is move into EAX the limit of the letters. So say if we're going to pump out all the constants, there's going to be 21 of these. I'm going to move 21 in EAX, and then what you would do is you do call random range, and then what random range is going to do is it'll get a letter, pick a number between 0 and the number you moved in EAX, and put it randomly and put it in there. And so with random number generators, this goes for most programming languages. The numbers are seeded. The random generator is seeded at the beginning of it, so your random numbers will be the same every single time. So what should happen if you want to use randseed and change the values, you can. But basically, what you want to happen is you want to see the same random numbers again and again while you're testing. That's basically for verification. Then if you were going to do some random number generator for a computer program, random number generation is used a lot in simulations. Just kind of change things. And so the random range, what that would do, modifying the random range would allow you to, you want to keep it consistent though, so you can repeat your results. So I'm going to run this real quick. And just to kind of show you the different values. So up here I have the registers. Let's put 21 in here. Now the random range number is going to pick a number between 0 and 20. So that's there, and so I put F. So it's going to do 15. So now what I want to do is I want to pick the 15th number from this constant. And that's what I'm going to write out. So I'll say move. So I want to get the address of the array. So I'm going to do move into EDX the the offset of cons. So it's going to give us the value. It's going to give us the address location of it should be B. And then what I want to do is I want to move into EAX. I want to put the letter, AL. So it's because it's a 1-byte value. Your value in EDX plus the value of the EAX. So what it's going to do is it's going to put the number in here and then add these together and move the letter in there. So if I was going to run this again, I have the number 56 in L, which should be the letter F. So the way to find out is I'm going to do, I'm sorry, I should move this into, I'm going to change this up a little bit because I think the value needs to be, oh, the AL is fine. So then I'm going to do call write char, and this will write whatever values in the AL, it will write it out. And so if I pull up the value, I'm getting the letter V. And so if I make a loop for this, I'll stop this here. So if I write out, if I do this multiple times, I'm not quite getting the values I would expect. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Oh. I need to set this multiple times. So let me kind of restart. So the point is, I'm trying to show you is you can loop this stuff. I just didn't, I haven't set up a loop yet. And that's what part of doing this assignment be. I'm kind of just trying to show you kind of the stuff that oops, isn't obvious. So everything, these groups of little triplets here, of 3 lines, you can essentially what am I doing wrong? You can basically, the things I'm doing the groupings here, you can essentially you can basically you want to put these into a loop. So I have these 3 lines here. And this, let's see how this works. So I have four letters written out, and then what you want to do. So I have these 4 letters, and then to show the next line, what you want to do is you want to move the carriage return values into the write those out as well. So the carriage return would be or next line would be the D value. So what I do is I want to move into AL 0 DH, so that's the 10th digit, and this should do a next line. So I'll do one more write just to show you that the next line is going to go in there. Oops. I need to write this out. So call write char. One more thing. I need to write both. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I need to write both D and A. This should do the next line. D is the carriage return. A is the next line. So D will just move to the front. AD. There we go. So I'm gonna I'll put a breakpoint here and make it a little bit bigger so you can see the whole code. But essentially what I'm doing here is I'm writing 4 lines. So what you want to do is make a loop that writes up 4 times. And then you have a nested loop inside this. Every time it does writes up 4 letters, it's going to print out basically these 4 lines. To go to the next line, you'll print out 4 again. And I know some of you guys already done this, so if you want to go back and do this before you saw the video, please do. But that's all. I just kind of just want to do a quick showing you how to get started with this. And the main objective is I want to see loops and stuff like that. So if you want to play around with the values or what's going to be the output, that's fine. So you can even draw 4 lines of random letters. And the last part is you're going to you'll have your output values of 0 and 1 as for the random number. So you'll also have 2 random number generators. One that does these sets of letters. If the value is 1, you're going to read from this list. If the value is 0 from the random number generator, you would do this list or something along those lines. So hope this helps you get started. And if you have any questions, please email me.